Hi, I'm back. I had COVID and a dodgy neck, and between those two things, it sidelined me for weeks, so that's why I've not been making many videos. I didn't give it up, I just felt rotten. So what I'd like to do today is actually talk about lids. Nymph lids more than anything, because people buy things like Mantis as nymphs, even stick insects, or jumping spiders, assassin bugs. All these sort of things can end up in a jar like this at some point in their life when they're tiny. And the usual method is to keep them in a 16-ounce plastic cup that you put a little bit of mesh on, an elastic band around the top. That seems to be the way people go. I don't, of course. I do everything bioactive, as you probably see behind me in here. I like everything bioactive. I like the springtails in there, and I like it all to be, some of them I like to grow depending on what's in there with them. But the problem is with the cup is not that you can't have it bioactive. The problem is that putting the elastic band on and a bit of this organza mesh, which is really slippy, can end up killing your nymph, because it's very, very difficult to take them off and put them on if your nymph is sat on top of the mesh, hanging upside down or just crawling there in general. And I've killed a few mantis, sadly, because of the elastic bands pinging backwards like that and whacking the insect. And some of them have gone flying as well when the mesh has gone, because the elastic band has just shot it across the room. So I use this method, which is a collar and mesh, which is always tight. I don't have that problem with any bunching around the edges. So if I put fruit flies in here, they're going to stay in here. They're not going to get out that little bunch that you've got on the cup where the elastic band's pulled it in because it's so tight. It's actually just a nice tautness across the top. It's good enough for the mantis to hang on, or the jumping spider, or the assassin bug, etc., etc., and it keeps them alive. You're not gonna be the fear of killing them, because to take the top off, this is that. That's how simple it is to take the top off, and put the top back on again. Put the mesh on. We push the collar down. And there we have it. That's it. There's no fighting with elastic bands. That's it. That's the entire process. Take it off, put it on. Nice and simple. So I think what I should do is just show you how I make them. It's pretty simple. You don't need anything special. As long as you've got one of these, some of this, and a jar. Okay, this is our jar. Just a random one. It's actually not a very good one because the lip is a little awkward. So I've given myself a difficult one to start with. So we can dump the lid, we don't need that. Great for a terrarium later. So we're going to need some tape, or glue, a pair of scissors, a bit of paper. Now this is preferably stiff card, but I'm going to use paper. I'm going to make it hard for myself because I'm going to make it for whatever you would have hanging around your house. And of course I've cut out a bit of organza mesh. You can make this neater, you can cut it smaller, that'd be fine. I've just got this great big lump of the stuff because this is for something else. Now, I know from this, the size is basically, we just wrap it round the top here like so. And what I want to do, because this is just paper, I'm going to guess here. I know I could have folded it, and I know I could have put it all fancy, but I'm not going to do. I'm just going to cut a bit out like that because we want to do it quickly. Then I'm just going to fold it over because it's not card, so I want it a little stiffer than paper, which is bloody awkward because it's not going to go straight because my cutting was so awesome. Anyway, there we have it. There's a bit. I'm going to neaten it up there. Look at what mess I've made there. I'm just going to neaten this up by chopping this off. Preferably not my finger. I just cut my finger then. Because, that's the way I roll. Right, just get rid of that. And now we have a collar. So all I need to do, I'm going to get a bit of tape ready. I hate these things. It's just what we had around for Christmas presents. And then I'm going to wrap this around the lid with a little tiny bit of space. And then I'm just going to stick a bit of tape on this collar, like so. I think I'll stick a bit more on there. Don't forget, I'm making quite a lot of these each time. If you're only making one, you could go full anal, let your OCD shine, and make something really, really cool, I guess. I don't, but you know. And then just make sure that the collar fits over the top, like so. Pop on your organza. Imagine a nymph in there. And then, this is much better if it's stiffer, but, you know, either way. Ta-da! Done. That's it. Done. That's a lot. And the beauty of this is you can actually write the name of your bugs, or your actual real name. Your real name. What do you think our team is? Yeah, I've got a mantis staring at me. I don't have them in enclosures. When they get to adults, I let them run around the house. And anyway, that is a very simple collar. Now, if your mantis or whatever is on the top of the mesh, is simply take this off, turn it over, and there you go. You've got really easy access to that mantis. And if you get one of those mantis that like to run around, or any other bug I suppose that likes to run around and make it hard work to put it back in, you can simply leave it there. It will happily stay there. And when you turn it upside down, it will quite happily hang upside down on there and stay there. And you can safely place it on without disturbing it and then put the collar on. As simple as that. And you haven't disturbed your mantis. It's quite tight. Or it would be if this was straight. It's not straight, unfortunately. And we get this nice taut sort of mesh on the lid here, which they quite happily hang upside down. I haven't tried this with the bigger mesh, because I usually only do this with nymphs. With the larger mantis, we find one that isn't going to shed in the next 2 minutes. What I tend to do is I use toffee jars, because these are, well, free mostly. I buy them in bulk from the manufacturer. But if you've only got 1 or 2 mantis, you can pretty much go to a sweet shop or a candy shop, whatever you call it, over wherever you are, and ask, and they will give you one of these. This is 4 litres. And these come with the plastic top, which I don't screw back on. And I'm definitely not going to do with this, because I have a cryptic mantis in here, who's usually a bit skittish, but he's not today, luckily. And all I do is drill a... Are you going to stay there? Good girl. I drill an 80mm hole at the top and glue some mesh on. And that is good enough. Now I'm just going to put you back. Watch them legs. There you go. Good girl. Pop you back on the shelf where it's warm. And basically, that's it. That's all you need to do with a lid, which saves a lot of mantis lives. So remember, mantis lives matter. And it's so simple. It's so obvious, so simple. These mason jars are probably the best ones because of this lid here, the lip. This was a bad move because it's got a silly lip on it. And this is a Yankee Candle, I think. That was for a terrarium. But I have a room with nothing but jars in it. And unfortunately, the mason jars are right at the back, so I couldn't be bothered going getting one. So I just grabbed the first one there was there, and that's what we got. But that is how I make lids, and they work absolutely fine. Nothing gets out of them, and it's easy to put them back. And I think they actually look better than an elastic band with all this bunching that you get with the mesh. It just crunches it up, and it has little holes in it for flies and stuff like that to get out, or even small, well, crickets, even though you shouldn't feed crickets to Mantis, but other tiny things that can crawl up the side can often get out, whereas with this, they can't get out. They can't get out, they're locked in there forever. Might take you a bit of practice, but 1 or 2 of these collars, and you'll be raring to go. This is card. Well, I hope that was informative. I know it was a quick video, but that's it. That's all I've got. Give us a like and subscribe if that was useful. I'm always up for that. And see you again next time. Adios.